Well, welcome back. After weeks of staying home, many of us have probably already adapted to a daily routine, but our next guest is stressing the importance of including exercise into our kids' schedules to promote a healthy mind and also body.
So the idea is less screen time, more playtime. Joining us now is Memorial Hermann Family and Sports Medicine doctor, Dr. Benedict Ifedi. Welcome, doctor, to the show. Let's chat about exercise, because this is something when kids go to school every day and they have PE or recess, they're out running and playing with each other, and there's more of a structure. So how can parents or caregivers create that structure for exercise now, and keeping in mind it's getting really hot outside?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. I think one of the simple things that I think about when creating that structure is an equation called FIT. So F-I-T-T. So thinking about whatever exercise you're going to do, think about the frequency. So say 3 times a week. Think about the intensity, maybe mild to moderate, the type. Say jogging, for example, and then the time, 30 minutes. So once you're able to define that and then kind of get it on your schedule for the week, I think that's how you create some of the structure that, say your kids would have had at school. And then the other big thing, as you alluded to, with it being very hot, and Houston has some of the hottest summers, is really making sure that if you're going to be participating in any exercise or sports outdoors, trying to do it at those off-peak times. So before the sun rises, early in the morning, or, towards the evening when the sun is going to set. And if you are out in the heat otherwise, really making sure that you're kind of going at short bursts. So 5 minutes, 10 minutes, see how your body responds, stay hydrated, and then slowly start to increase that time as tolerated.
These are all great tips, doctor. And I have 2 boys, soon to be 9 and almost 13. Both are athletes, both like to kind of be outside, basketball, ride bikes, baseball, all of that. But I know they're watching the show, so let's talk about mindful eating, because sometimes I see the boredom eating where they're not making kind of the best decisions when they're bored, not quite hungry. But we need to keep in mind that they need to fuel their bodies with the right types of food.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. And I think, one of the best places to start is, at least from, the parent's perspective, really trying to fill the house with those healthy fuels and not the empty calories. So avoiding the packaged foods, the processed foods, chips, candy, as much as possible, and really, putting in the household fruits, vegetables, maybe a healthy granola bar, things like Gatorade. Water is going to be the primary, and really promoting those things so that, when they are putting things in their body, it's going to be good fuel in the tank and not necessarily something that's going to bog them down and not let them perform in the way that they could with whatever exercise or athletics.
And Dr. Ifedi, let's talk a little bit about the mental wellness aspect here, because for a lot of young people who participate in team sports, clearly it's about teamwork. It's about, confidence in each other and in ourselves. So with this social distancing world we are living in now, what are some of the ways that our young people can connect still with their peers while maintaining a safe distance?
Yeah, I think, right now with participating in sports, you're still able to get together in groups, but trying to maintain that distance. And, whether if you're going jogging, for example, just trying to maintain that 6 feet. And if you are not able to physically get together, really use technology to our advantage. We have FaceTime, we have Zoom, and do home workouts with your respective teammates until you're able to gather back together again. And I think that's how you're going to be able to, one, stay active, stay conditioned for when sports do return, and you're going to stay connected and continue to keep that camaraderie.
Our kids now learned a new normal of distance learning. So whereas maybe, they're getting more screen time now because this is how they are learning. And then they want to use the screen time for fun and games or chat with their friends. So that's something to be mindful, because that could also, the amount of screen time can not only be affecting kind of their eyesight, but it also can affect their mood, right?
Yeah, definitely. One of the things that we know very well is, especially with how big social media is now, and especially in the current pandemic. There can be some good to it. There's inspiration, but there can also be bad. There's a lot of FOMO, fear of missing out. There's inevitable comparing yourself to others. And I think it's important to really set limits to the amount of time that you're going to be spending, in front of a computer screen, in front of a TV screen, in front of your cell phone, and really try to break up the day. So it's like, hey, for this amount of time, I'm going to go read. For this other amount of time is going to be set, family time, for example, at the dinner, and we're kind of talking device free, and really just making sure to be mindful of how everything that you're participating in is affecting you. So if you notice, like, all right, I've been on the computer for 2 hours and my brain is starting to turn to mush, and I'm, feeling irritable, I'm feeling anxious, recognize that, and then, pull away and do another activity. And, parents alike, you may start to notice those characteristics in your students and your athletes, and, be mindful of that and talk to them about it.
Well, Dr. Benedict Ifedi, thank you so much for your time today. I think that last point you made is so critical, that stress not only affects our minds, those mood swings, the irritability that a lot of parents are seeing in their children, but also it can affect their physical bodies. So very important thing to watch for. We do appreciate your time. And to our viewers, if you would like more information, you can visit mhmg.memorialhermann.org or call 281-500-6120. Dr. Ifedi, thanks again.